The human body is a remarkable machine capable of extraordinary feats of endurance. But even the most resilient among us have their limits. We can withstand extreme temperatures, go days without food, and even function for a time with significant injuries. But there is one fundamental need that we cannot go without for long: sleep. You might think of sleep as a passive state, a time when our bodies and minds simply shut down to recharge, but nothing could be further from the truth. Sleep is an active, dynamic process, essential for our physical and mental well-being. During sleep, our bodies repair damaged tissues, consolidate memories, and release hormones that regulate growth and metabolism. In this film, we will embark on a journey into the depths of sleep deprivation, exploring the profound and often unsettling effects that prolonged wakefulness has on the human body. We will witness the gradual unraveling of our physical and cognitive abilities and discover the very real dangers that lurk when we deny ourselves this most basic of needs. Join me, if you will, as we delve into the shocking truth of what happens when we go 7 days without sleep. The first 24 hours without sleep might seem relatively harmless. Many of us have pulled an all-nighter, whether for work, school, or a particularly gripping television series. We may feel a bit sluggish and our concentration might wane, but we can generally function. Outwardly, we may appear only mildly affected, but beneath the surface, changes are already taking place. Our bodies, deprived of their allotted rest, begin to produce higher levels of stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones, designed to provide us with energy during times of stress, start to disrupt our internal clock, leading to feelings of anxiety and restlessness. Our cognitive functions also begin to show subtle signs of decline. Our reaction times slow, our ability to focus diminishes, and we become more prone to making mistakes. We may find it harder to recall information, and our decision-making abilities may become impaired. Yet at this stage, the effects are still relatively mild and reversible. A good night's sleep is usually enough to restore our bodies and minds to their normal equilibrium. However, as we push beyond this initial 24-hour period, the consequences of sleep deprivation become increasingly pronounced and far more concerning. At the 48-hour mark, our bodies enter a state of heightened alert, recognizing the prolonged sleep deprivation as a serious threat. The initial surge of stress hormones, which provided a temporary boost, begins to wane, leaving us feeling drained and depleted. Our immune system, weakened by the lack of sleep, becomes more susceptible to infections. The body's natural defenses, normally vigilant in fighting off invading pathogens, are compromised, leaving us vulnerable to even minor illnesses. The cardiovascular system also starts to show signs of strain. Our heart rate increases, working harder to compensate for the lack of rest, and our blood pressure rises. These changes, while not immediately life-threatening, put additional stress on our organs and increase our risk of developing long-term health problems. Perhaps the most alarming change occurs within the brain. Deprived of the restorative sleep it needs to function properly, the brain begins to experience what can only be described as micro-sleeps. These brief involuntary lapses in consciousness, lasting only a few seconds, can occur without warning, even when we are trying to stay awake. 72 hours without sleep marks a critical turning point, a descent into a realm where the line between reality and illusion blurs. The body, now in a state of severe sleep deprivation, begins to exhibit truly bizarre and disconcerting symptoms. The most striking of these is the onset of hallucinations, vivid sensory experiences that have no basis in reality. These hallucinations can involve any of the 5 senses, from seeing objects that aren't there to hearing voices whispering in our ears. The sleep-deprived brain, desperate for rest, begins to misinterpret sensory input, conjuring up images and sounds from the depths of our subconscious. Adding to the disorientation, delusions, false beliefs that are firmly held despite all evidence to the contrary, may also begin to surface. These delusions can range from the relatively benign, such as believing that we have special powers, to the deeply disturbing, such as paranoia and suspicion of those around us. Cognitively, we are now profoundly impaired. Our speech becomes slurred and disjointed, our thoughts are muddled and confused, and we may experience significant memory lapses. We may struggle to perform even simple tasks, and our judgment becomes severely compromised. As we enter the 4th day and beyond, the human body, pushed to its absolute limit, teeters precariously on the brink of collapse. The cumulative effects of prolonged sleep deprivation have taken a devastating toll, leaving us physically and mentally debilitated. Our motor skills, already compromised, deteriorate further, making even the simplest movements difficult and uncoordinated. Our balance falters, our reflexes slow to a crawl, and we may experience tremors or muscle spasms. The brain, starved of sleep and overwhelmed by fatigue, begins to shut down essential functions in a desperate attempt to conserve energy. Our brainwave patterns, normally characterized by a symphony of electrical activity, slow to a crawl, resembling those of someone in a coma. Communication becomes almost impossible. We may mumble incoherently or lapse into extended periods of silence, our minds too exhausted to form coherent thoughts. Our perception of time becomes distorted, minutes stretching into hours, and our grasp on reality continues to slip away. Prolonged sleep deprivation beyond this point poses a very real threat to our survival. The risk of organ failure increases dramatically as the body's systems, pushed beyond their limits, begin to shut down. Our exploration into the depths of sleep deprivation has revealed a stark and sobering truth. Sleep is not a luxury, but a fundamental biological imperative. It is as essential to our survival as air, water, and food. Without it, our bodies and minds begin to unravel, leading to a cascade of physical and cognitive impairments that ultimately threaten our very existence. While the extreme scenario of going 7 days without sleep is mercifully rare, it serves as a powerful reminder of the profound importance of prioritizing sleep in our lives. In our fast-paced, always-on world, it is all too easy to sacrifice sleep for work, social engagements, or simply the allure of staying up late. But the consequences of chronic sleep deprivation, while less dramatic than those we have witnessed in this film, are no less real or damaging. So the next time you are tempted to burn the midnight oil, remember the intricate and delicate machinery that is your body and mind. Give yourself the gift of sleep and allow yourself to reap the countless benefits that come with a well-rested body and a clear, focused mind.
Thank you for watching. Remember, your health is your greatest wealth. Always take it seriously. The information shared here is for general knowledge. Please consult your doctor before applying any advice or using any medication. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.